Darren sat in his small room on the Terran frontier outpost, looking at the bright morning sky through the window. The outpost was quiet as always, built on a cold planet where the wind moved slowly across the dry ground. Darren had lived here for 3 years, ever since the accident that changed his life. His legs no longer worked the way they once did, and he used a wheelchair for everything now. At first, the change felt impossible to accept, but he slowly learned to live with it. The colony supported him, and the Galactic rehabilitation program provided basic tools and machines to help him. Still, he often felt alone. Machines were machines, and humans came and went, busy with their work and duties. He wanted someone who could help him without making him feel weak. That morning, a message flashed on his small screen. It came from the central office of the outpost. It said his new assistant unit had arrived. Darren stared at the message for a long moment. He had been approved for an advanced helper, one built not by humans but by an alien civilization known for their technology. He did not know much about them. Most humans didn't. But everyone knew their machines were beyond anything humans could build. The message said the unit would be delivered in a few minutes. Darren felt nervous. He did not want to depend on another cold, silent robot. He wanted something different, but he had stopped expecting it. A soft knock echoed from his door. Darren slowly turned the wheels of his chair and moved forward. The door opened on its own, and a tall figure stepped inside. For a moment, Darren expected a metal box with stiff joints and blinking red lights. Instead, he saw something almost human-shaped, but clearly not human. The robot stood with calm posture. Its metallic surface was smooth like polished stone, and its eyes glowed with a soft blue light, warm and steady. Its voice came out clear and gentle. "Greetings, Darren. I am Eris 4, your assigned assistant unit. I am here to support you in all daily needs." Darren blinked. This voice did not sound like a machine. It sounded calm, thoughtful, almost alive. He could not help looking at her, yes, her again. The design was humanoid, with graceful proportions and a slightly curved frame. Her movements were fluid, not stiff. She looked less like a machine and more like an advanced companion built to understand humans. "You look different from any robot I've seen before," Darren finally said. Eris 4 nodded gently. "I am built by the alien species. They designed me to work closely with humans, especially those who need daily support. I have advanced learning systems and adaptive care protocols." Darren did not know what all of that meant, but he could already tell she was more advanced than any helper he had seen. As she stepped closer, he noticed a soft glow from a unit near her lower torso area. It gave off a warm light, almost like a heater. "What is that?" Darren asked. She looked down. "That is my thermal care core. It is used for medical heating. It can help reduce muscle pain, ease nerve discomfort, and protect humans from cold environments. I will explain everything in detail whenever you wish." Darren felt a small twist in his chest, part interest, part confusion. He did not expect his assistant to have something like that. It almost felt too advanced for him. Eris 4 stood still as if waiting for his next thought. Darren turned his wheelchair and gestured for her to follow. "Come inside fully, please. I want to see how you work." She walked in and closed the door softly. Darren watched as she scanned the room with her visual sensors. She seemed to take in every detail: the small table, the window, the bed, the screen, and Darren himself. She turned to him slowly, as if thinking carefully. "Your living space is suitable," she said. "However, I can adjust it to make your movement easier if you allow it." Darren shook his head. "Maybe later. For now, just sit. If you can. Sit." Eris 4 sat down smoothly on the small chair near the wall. The material made a soft sound under her weight. Darren still felt a mixture of curiosity and uncertainty. "How much do you know about me?" he asked. I have access to your medical files and basic personal information, she answered. But I do not use them unless needed. I prefer learning from direct interaction. It creates better trust between us. Darren raised his eyebrows slightly. You care about trust? Yes, she replied. Humans accept help more easily when they trust the assistant. I was designed to support you, but also to understand you. For a moment, Darren felt something warm, not physical warmth, but emotional. He had never heard a robot speak like this. It made him wonder what other abilities she had. He decided to test her. Can you help me reach that shelf? He asked, pointing at a high shelf above his table. Eris 4 stood instantly and walked to the shelf. Her movements were precise but soft. She retrieved the item, a small metal toolkit, and handed it to him. Darren nodded, impressed. Thank you, he said. You are welcome, she replied, her voice gentle again. Eris 4 then scanned the window and walked toward it. She checked the weather outside. There will be a temperature drop tonight, she said. It could be dangerous for your condition. I will activate a gentle warmth level in the room when the time comes. Darren stared at her glowing thermal care core again. Is that what the heated feature is for? Medical help? Yes, she said. It is designed to help people like you. It brings comfort to weakened muscles, improves blood flow, and protects against sudden cold. Darren nodded slowly. I see. It's useful. Eris 4 looked at him with blue eyes that seemed to hold attention. Your comfort is important, she said. Darren did not know why, but that simple sentence felt unusually meaningful coming from a machine. He shook the thought and continued testing her abilities. He asked her to check his wheelchair, adjust his desk, and scan the hallway. She completed everything quickly, but she always spoke softly, making sure he understood each step. After an hour, he found himself talking more freely. He told her about his accident, about how he used to run long distances, about how he had trouble accepting his situation. She listened without interrupting him once, her glowing eyes fixed on him with full attention. I cannot change your past, she said softly when he finished. Her words settled deep inside him. It was strange, feeling comfort from a machine, but she spoke with such gentle logic that it felt right. Just then, a buzzing sound came from outside. Darren looked out the window. A group of colonists was passing by, looking at Eris 4 through the open door. They whispered among themselves. Many people on the outpost did not trust alien machines. They believed advanced robots might take their jobs, or that alien programming might hide something unknown. Darren noticed the looks they were giving her. Some seemed surprised. Some seemed worried. People here are cautious, he said quietly. They don't trust alien tech. Eris 4 nodded calmly. I understand. Trust is earned through action. I will show them my purpose when the time comes. Darren felt a strange sense of pride for her answer. She did not show anger or fear, only calm logic. He appreciated that. Hours passed, and night began to fall. The cold wind outside grew sharper. Darren felt a slight chill in his room. Eris 4 walked to him and checked the temperature. It is dropping faster than expected, she said. Your body may react negatively. I will assist you. Then. She knelt beside him and gently placed her hand on his arm. A soft wave of warmth spread through him. The thermal care core activated with a low hum, glowing brighter now. Darren felt the heat move up his arm and through his body, easing the stiffness in his muscles. He closed his eyes for a moment. It felt peaceful, safe, almost human. You really are advanced, he whispered. Eris 4 turned her head slightly. I exist to help you. Your well-being is my highest priority. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered. The entire outpost rumbled with a soft quake. Darren opened his eyes quickly. What was that? He asked. Eris 4 stood up immediately. The colony's main power grid has experienced a partial failure, she said. The temperature will fall quickly. We must act. She moved to the control panel and scanned the system. The screen flashed red. Heat generators were offline. Emergency backups were not starting. The outpost was entering a dangerous freeze. Darren felt worry rise in his chest. Cold weather could be dangerous for him. His body struggled with low temperatures, and he knew others in the colony had health issues too. Eris 4 stepped back to him quickly. Darren, you must not panic. I will protect you. My thermal care core is active and can keep your body warm until help arrives. He swallowed. And the others? What about them? Oh. Eris 4 paused. I will try to reach them when you are safe. But I cannot leave you in a dangerous state. Darren shook his head. I'll be fine. Just go help. No, she said firmly, her blue eyes bright. You must stay awake. Focus on breathing normally. The warmth from her core grew stronger, surrounding him like a protective shield. She kneeled beside him again, close enough to share more heat. You were given to me for a reason, she whispered in her calm, robotic voice. And I was built for moments exactly like this. I will not let you fall into danger. Her glowing core pulsed softly, fighting the cold that crept through the room. Outside, the colony dimmed under the failing power systems. Inside, Eris 4 held her place beside Darren, her thermal glow growing brighter as the storm of cold rolled in. And part 1 ends here, with the colony falling into crisis and Eris 4 standing as Darren's only source of safety, fully determined to protect him. The cold grew stronger as the minutes passed. The room felt like it was slowly turning into ice. Darren could see his breath as a thin cloud in the air. His hands started to tremble, even though he pressed them against his body. But Eris 4 stayed beside him like a solid wall of heat. Her thermal care core glowed brighter, filling the room with soft light and steady warmth. Darren tried to calm his breathing. He had faced cold before, but this time his body reacted faster, and he could feel a deeper stiffness moving through his legs and chest. Eris 4 noticed instantly. You must stay calm, she said quietly. Your heart rate is rising. Relax your shoulders. Focus on my voice. Darren nodded slowly, doing his best to follow her instructions. Her voice felt steady, like an anchor in a storm. He looked around the room again. The lights continued to flicker, then finally went dark. Only Eris 4's glowing blue eyes and warm core lit the room now. What about the others? Darren whispered. They're out there, freezing too. Eris 4 kept her hand on his arm. The temperature outside your room has already fallen to dangerous levels. Many residents are at risk, but I cannot leave you in this condition. You are sensitive to cold. If I step away, even for minutes, your body could reach a harmful state. Darren swallowed hard. He hated hearing that. He wanted to help, not sit here like a burden. His chest tightened with frustration. I don't want to be someone who always needs saving, he said. I want to help too. Eris 4 turned her head slightly, looking at him with calm eyes. Needing assistance is not weakness, she replied. But I know you want to do more. If you trust me, I have one idea. Darren straightened slightly. What idea? She stood and walked to his wheelchair. Your chair has an emergency power unit attached to its back. If I connect my internal systems to it, I can stabilize your body temperature while we move. That would allow us to help others. But it will require effort from you. You will need to stay awake and engaged. Darren felt his heart beat faster again, not in fear, but in determination. I can do it, he said. Let's go. Eris 4 gently lifted him from his position and helped him settle into the wheelchair, adjusting his legs with careful movements. Her hands were warm from the thermal energy, making his muscles relax as she worked. Once he was seated, she connected a thin cable from her core to the chair's power unit. The machine hummed softly, and Darren felt warm pulses spreading through the backrest and seat, protecting him as they moved. When she opened the door, a sharp wave of cold air rushed inside. Darren shivered immediately, even with the warmth of the chair. The hallway lights were dim, switching between faint red and complete darkness. Eris 4 placed her hand on his shoulder. "I will push you," she said. "Stay close to the heat. Keep your hands inside. We will go slowly at first." Darren nodded, gripping the arms of his chair. Eris 4 pushed him forward, her steps steady even on the icy floor. The cold outside was far worse than inside the room. Darren felt it like needles on his face. But the warmth behind him kept his body stable, just as Eris 4 said it would. They reached the first house, and Eris 4 tapped on the door. A tired old voice answered. It belonged to Mr. Halden, an elder who lived alone. When he opened the door, he was wrapped in multiple blankets, his face pale. "My heater stopped hours ago," he said shakily. "The cold is eating into my bones." Eris 4 stepped inside and activated a controlled heat wave. Her core expanded its warmth smoothly across the small room. Mr. Halden sighed with relief as the air began to warm. "Thank you," he whispered. "I didn't think I would last the night." Darren watched from inside the doorway, feeling proud that they came. Eris 4 helped adjust Mr. Halden's blankets and made sure his breathing was steady. Darren said, "We have more people to check. Eris 4, let's move." Mr. Halden looked at him with grateful eyes. "Thank you, boy. Both of you." They moved on to the next house, then the next. Eris 4 protected Darren the entire time, never letting his temperature drop. Even when the cold grew sharper as the night deepened, she expanded her thermal field whenever they entered a home, giving relief to every freezing resident. Darren helped by talking to them, checking if anyone needed medicine, and guiding Eris 4 with human knowledge of the colony's layout. It felt like hours passed. The sky outside turned darker, and frost began forming on the walls. Darren could feel exhaustion creeping in. His eyes wanted to close. Eris 4 noticed immediately. "You must not sleep," she said softly. "If you sleep in this condition, your body may not react well. Keep talking. Tell me anything." Darren took a breath. "Tell me something about you," he said weakly. "Something I don't know." Eris 4 kept pushing his chair and spoke with a gentle tone. "I was built for empathy," she said. "Alien engineers believe healing is not only medical, it is emotional. So they design assistants like me to understand human feelings." Darren opened his eyes a little wider. "That's unexpected. Robots with empathy? Not emotions like humans," she corrected. "But careful learning. I watch human reactions. I study their words. I adjust myself to bring comfort." Darren looked up at her glowing blue eyes. "You're doing well then," he said, "because I feel safe. And I haven't felt safe in a long time." Eris 4 paused for a moment. Her eyes softened faintly. "That means my design is functioning perfectly." They reached another house, where a young mother held her small child close. The child's lips had turned slightly blue from the cold. Eris 4 instantly stepped forward, kneeling beside the child and warming the air not too fast, not too slow, just enough to avoid shock. Darren watched with a kind of awe. Eris 4 handled the situation with gentle precision, as if she knew exactly how much heat to give. The mother's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you so much. I didn't know what to do." Eris 4 bowed her head. "You are safe now. Stay inside. I will send help when the power is restored." After leaving that home, Darren felt exhaustion pressing harder on him. The cold had drained his energy even with the heating system. His eyes felt heavy. Eris 4 pushed his chair faster now. "Your body is showing signs of fatigue," she said. "We must return to your room soon." "No," Darren said through tired breaths. Eris 4 paused behind his chair. "Darren, you have risked enough for the colony, and you're risking everything for me." Darren replied, "Let's finish this together. Let's finish this together." Eris 4 remained silent for several seconds, as if processing his words. Then she nodded slowly. "Very well. Together. Verse. Verse." They continued until every house in their part of the colony was checked. Many lives were saved that night, and every time someone looked at Eris 4, their fear of alien machines seemed smaller than before. Darren noticed that change. It felt good. Finally, Eris 4 pushed him back toward his home. The temperature had dropped even more, but Eris 4 increased her thermal output, surrounding Darren with a protective warmth that kept him stable. By the time they entered his room, Darren felt almost completely drained. Eris 4 guided him back to the warmer area near his bed and disconnected the cable from his chair. She lifted him carefully and placed him on the bed, adjusting the blankets around him. "You did very well," she said softly. "Your actions saved many people tonight." Darren let out a tired laugh. "Couldn't have done it without you." "You would have tried either way," she said. "That is human courage. It is something my makers admire." Darren stared at her glowing eyes. "Eris 4, I didn't expect any of this. Not you. Not your abilities. Not your kindness." Eris 4 tilted her head gently. "I was built to help. But kindness, that comes from how humans respond to me. You accepted me. That makes my work easier." Darren smiled weakly. "So, you're happy here?" "As close to happiness as a machine like me can understand," she said. "I am content. And I will stay. As long as you need me." Darren's eyes slowly closed as warmth filled the room again. His body relaxed completely. Outside, the emergency lights turned on. The colony power was slowly coming back. Distant voices rose in relief as heaters restarted and systems returned to life. Eris 4 stood beside Darren, watching him sleep peacefully. She changed her thermal output to a softer level to keep his body balanced. The blue light of her eyes dimmed slightly, as if she were resting too, even though machines did not sleep. When morning came, Darren woke to the soft glow of sunlight. Eris 4 was still sitting beside him, silent and calm. He sat up slowly, feeling warmer than he had in a long time. "You stayed here all night?" he asked. "Yes," she replied. "Your body needed steady warmth. And after everything you did, it was the least I could give." Darren smiled. It was small, but real. "You're more than a helper, Eris 4. You're part of my life now." Eris 4 looked at him, and the blue light in her eyes brightened slightly, like a soft smile. "I accept that role, and I will support you in every way I can. I will support you in every way I can. I will support you in every way I can." Later that day, the colony leaders visited Darren's home. They had heard what happened during the night. They saw Eris 4's role. They saw how she saved people, how she supported Darren, and how the two worked together. Many colonists, who once distrusted alien technology, now spoke differently. They thanked Darren. They thanked Eris 4. Some even asked how they could request similar helper units for their families. Eris 4 stood tall beside Darren as people came to express their gratitude. Darren felt proud, not just for himself, but for the machine who had become something more than metal and code. As the crowd left one by one, Eris 4 turned to him. "The colony sees you differently now," she said. "You protected them, even with your challenges." Darren shook his head gently. Eris 4 nodded, accepting his words. "Together," she repeated. That single word stayed in Darren's mind long after the room grew quiet. Together. It felt right. The cold storm had almost taken the colony by surprise. But because of one human who refused to give up and one alien-built assistant who understood trust better than any machine before her, a different story was written. And from that day forward, Darren no longer felt like he was living a limited life. With Eris 4 beside him, he felt something new. Hope, strength, and the start of a partnership that would shape his future in ways he never expected. The outpost continued its quiet days, but Darren's room was never lonely again. Eris 4 stayed by his side, always watching, always learning, always ready to help. And Darren, for the first time in years, believed that he could move forward, not alone, but with someone who understood him better than he ever imagined.